Twitter. Is the Elon era of Twitter over sooner than we thought? Twitter owner Elon Musk has launched a poll on the site asking users if he should step down as head of the company. He has promised to abide by the results. And they didn't really turn out in his favor with more than 17 million votes. 57.5% of users say Elon should step down. The poll, which is now closed, comes amid fallout over a new policy Twitter attempted to introduce yesterday. The social media giant announcing and then reversing a plan to ban users from linking or promoting their pages on other social media sites. Musk responded to the debacle, writing, quote, "Going forward, there will be a vote for major policy changes. My apologies won't happen again." And seemingly in response to his poll, before the final results, he tweeted, "As the saying goes, be careful what you wish, as you might get it."
Well, Elon may be going, but he's given us memories here at Twitter that could last a lunchtime, as they say on in the Reynolds. But I've got to say, Richard Haass, some of the people who are probably happiest about the results of this poll, if in fact Elon abides by it, are the shareholders and those who have the largest stake in Tesla that are cheering for him and SpaceX, who actually want Elon Musk to succeed in his business ventures. It has been disastrous. All of this has been disastrous for Tesla stock. So it'll be curious to see if he does leave. If he does leave, though, it's actually in his best interest.
Yeah, but who's going to buy it? I mean, he was trying to raise extra money for Twitter at the valuation he bought it at. I wouldn't think the takers were forming a double line at that price. So it would be a significant discount if he were to get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, there's a fundamental difference, Joe, between running the companies you founded, essentially where you understand you've made the DNA, and then acquiring this large social media company. This has been a mismatch from day one. So if he were to get out of Twitter in the long run, I think it would be good. He's not, shall we say, made for it. This latest thing is whatever deliberative decision-making is, it is not characteristic of Elon Musk's Twitter. It's not a match that's sustainable. No. And I would think his investors would rather have him go back to spaceships, to launch and the rest, than to Teslas.
Of course.
That's that's how he made his reputation, not on Twitter.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's what he knows. It reminds me again, and I'm sure you remember the story. Henry Ford, again, created the modern age, created the assembly line, created the America that we know. And, of course, he was brilliant at it. But the second he stepped out of that, he went up, I think, to Capitol Hill to testify. People were shocked at how limited his knowledge was. He knew how to do one thing exceedingly well and created the modern age by doing that. But when he got out of his lane, things didn't go quite so well. And Jonathan Lemire, it has been such a chaotic few months with Elon Musk. I'm sure it all looked much easier from a distance to come in and clean this place up. But you and I and other millions and millions of people that have been on Twitter for a decade could tell him it's a sewer out there.
It's a sewer out there, and it has gotten worse since he took over. There's been studies about how the hate speech and the racist rhetoric has only increased in the Musk era, and people don't really know what he wants out of this. Was this just an effort to own the libs or to be a troll, to be the center of attention? He certainly is Trump-esque in his need to be talked about. He grossly overpaid for Twitter in the first place. We all reflect that drama. Will he or won't he go through the sale in the first place? And it does seem like he's had a couple of attempts to get out of it since. And this move here, his poll that suggests he's going to leave, comes on the heels of not just that policy that prohibited people from linking to other social media sites, which caused an uproar, but also after he banned a number of journalists. There were a number of journalists that he banned, he claimed, because they were trying to, quote, dox him because they had linked to publicly available information about his aircraft. And then others were banned for no real reason whatsoever, they could tell. Now, those bans have been reversed, mostly. This policy about linking has been reversed mostly. We'll see if he abides by this poll. He certainly doesn't have to, but I guess it should be noted he's put up other polls before, including the one about bringing Donald Trump back to the platform. He has abided by those results. So we shall have to see what comes as the day goes on.
Yeah, and you know, it's just, again, it's every day that he's doing Twitter. I'm saying just about anybody, but every day you're running Twitter is a day you're making enemies. And if you've got something like Tesla and SpaceX, it's going to hurt that other business. And Caddy K, I've got a saying around here, Meek and I, we can get into music. We can do music. We can write books. We can do whatever. But at the end of the day, you guard the flag, right? Guard the flag. What is the thing that pays the bill? What is the thing that's most important in your professional business? And Elon Musk has not been guarding the flag. In fact, he's allowed it to be savaged. He's lost 60% of his stock this year. I think the rest of the S&P's lost about 15 to 18% this year. So it's been a savage year for Tesla, and he hasn't guarded the flag. Perhaps this is where he steps away and goes back and worries about first things first.
Yeah, I mean, if he's having to subsidize Tesla because of losses on Twitter, that doesn't make any sense for him. But also beyond that, there's the brand and reputation. We should get Donnie on this. But, the brand damage that's being done when you've got, liberals, Tesla-owning liberals in California who were very proud to be owning Teslas for a while, saying, actually, you know what, I don't want anything to do with this company anymore, and I'm going to sell my Tesla and I'm going to buy, I don't know, an electric BMW or whatever it is they're going to replace it with. Then he's got a problem. And we all know what it's like. You can spend years building up a reputation, and for companies in particular, you can spend years building up a brand, but you can lose that brand and that reputation very quickly. And that seems to be what's happening to Elon Musk at the moment. And he's going to have to rebuild that trust in Tesla, whatever he does as a result of this poll. I mean, the question will be, if he steps aside, then what happens to Twitter? He'll still own the company, so presumably he will still control whoever it is that's running it operationally day to day.
Yeah, Richard, we're going to have John Della Volpe on a little bit later on. John brought up a very fascinating point. You have all of these people that are striking out against woke politics or whatever Elon was striking out against, owning the libs. It's all about owning the libs. John Della Volpe brought up a good point that in states, I believe you said states that were won by Joe Biden, they control 70% of America's GDP. So you hear about, Colin Kaepernick. He supposedly creates a backlash. You've got those protesting with kneeling for a while. People saying we're never going to watch the NFL again. We're never going to subsidize MLB again. We're never going to do this again or that. Again, all to own the libs. At the end of the day, the vast majority of wealth are in blue states, regardless of who's winning elections. And those 70% are the ones that buy the overwhelming majority of Teslas. So if people on the right decide, we're going to shut down Disney World, we're going to shut down this, no, you're not. There's a reason why corporations are not do-gooders. I'm sorry. It's just when you see BP going out saying how much they love nature, whatever. They're not do-gooders. They're worried about their bottom line, right? So if Coca-Cola or somebody else does something that upsets the far right, you can try to own the libs. They're not doing it because they want to be loved by the libs. They want to make money. And this is what Elon Musk, I can't believe it, he never understood. Look at the data. Your Teslas are bought by the libs you're trying to own. They don't want them anymore.